Hi. We've been reading the 28 Days Moments in Black History That Changed the World. And we're on our last person. Now, the fun thing about this is that someone you know, he's still alive, he's still around. Just like yesterday with Oprah Winfrey. So we've gone from the past, back when our country had just started, all the way up till now with people that are still alive and having an impact on the history of our world. I want you to think about today all of those people and how did they have an impact on the world. Now, what's cool is that every one of the people that we've read about is in the Last Days poem. So this poem includes every person that we've read about in this book, which is pretty neat to think about. And it talks about how all of the things that they did had an impact on this person being able to do what they did. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. People like Crispus Attucks, that very first guy we read about, the guy who got killed, he died. All he did was get shot and killed. He was the first man to get killed in what would become the Revolutionary War. And he was a black man. And if he wouldn't have had his life, and if all of the other people that we read about hadn't done the things that they did, the man that we're going to read about today might not have been able to do what he did. And I bet that he would say that. The reason that he could do what he did is because of all of the people, all of the black people that came before him that had courage to stand up or do what they felt was right. Whether that was just to sit down on a bus when they were told to stand, or whether it was suing other people and making the law change by suing someone about a law that was unjust. So this person is, I know you just shouted it at home, didn't you? Barack Obama. Barack Obama was our 44th president, and we're going to read about him. But it's not just about him. I don't know if you can see. I'll get a little closer here. But all of the people, all the way down, Crispus, Dred Scott, Robert Smalls, all of these people that came before Barack Obama had an impact on him becoming the president. And I want you to think about that today as I read. How does one person, whether they do what they're supposed to or not do what they're supposed to, how does that affect everybody else? If just one of these people hadn't done what they did, Dred Scott, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, think about the impact that they had on the world. And they were just one person who stood up for what was right and did what was right. Like Martin Luther King, one of my favorite quotes of his, "The time is always right to do what is right." And that's not always easy to do, but it's a good way to live. So I want you to think about all these people that we've learned about through reading this book and how did they help Barack Obama become president. Even if they're no longer alive, they helped him become president. Let's read about Barack and the people that helped him become president. Crispus Attucks sacrificed. Dred Scott sued. Robert Smalls stole so Barack could be counted. Daniel Hale healed. Matthew Henson conquered. Harriet Tubman led. Henry Johnson fought. Madam C.J. Walker built so Barack could dream. Bessie Coleman soared. Jesse Owens sprinted. Marian Anderson sang. Jackie Robinson swung. Brown sued and won so Barack could stand. Rosa sat. Althea and Arthur smashed. The Little Rock Nine endured. Wilma roared. Martin marched. Malcolm challenged. Thurgood was sworn in, and Shirley ran, so Barack could run. Hank hacked away. May and Guy launched. Mandela inspired. Oprah earned, so Barack could win. Number 44, America's first black president. So I'm going to read a little bit more about his life. Barack Hussein Obama was born on August 4th, 1961 in Honolulu, Hawaii. His mother was a white woman from Kansas, and his father was a black man from Kenya, Africa. Barack was called Barry for years because he had no true connection to his African name. But that changed when he attended Columbia University. As a college student, he embraced means he grabbed onto his name and he said, you know what? This is who I am. I'm not embarrassed of being called Barack. That's my name. There's a reason for that, and I want people to know that. So as a college student, he embraced his name and his mixed heritage. Mixed heritage means that he's got parents from two different cultures, right? His mom is from Kansas, a white woman from Kansas. His dad was from Africa, from Kenya. So he has two different cultures that he's part of. Upon graduation, he moved to Chicago to work as a community organizer, and then he left to attend Harvard Law School. He felt that even though he was able to help people, a law degree would allow him to help even more. Eventually, he returned to Chicago to work again as an organizer, but then entered politics, where he began his career as an Illinois state senator. 8 years later, he became a U.S. senator, and just 4 years after that, he became the President of the United States. So again, I think one of the things that I'm seeing in a lot of these people is that they stood up for what they believed in. They figured out who they were and what they stood for, and then they worked hard to get that. They all had to overcome something. Think about all those people that we read about. They had to overcome something. Just like right now, we're having to overcome this virus thing that's going on right now. We have to get over this. There's no other way but to stay home and stay safe and take care of it and try to slow down how fast this virus spreads so that people can be healthy and we can get back together someday. I've got some questions I'm going to put down after this, and I want you to just think about them and write me an answer or send me an answer on a video or on an audio message. So think about Barack, think about the important things, all the other people that helped him become president, even though they weren't alive or around, a lot of them. If they wouldn't have done the things they did, he might not have been able to become president. Think about Martin Luther King. Think about C.J. Walker. Think about Bessie Coleman and Jesse Owens and all these people who broke down barriers for black people so that they could do more things in our culture and in our societies. It's pretty cool. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a good day of learning.